There is a world existing right beneath our feet. A world, quite frankly, not meant for our eyes. Deep beneath the sunlit courtyards of the surface lies a heavy, unyielding silence. This is the domain of the Iron Vault. Within these buried walls, the darkest, most carefully guarded truths of human history are locked away from humanity. We aren't just talking about forgotten papers here. These are dangerous, forbidden realities, sealed in the dark, waiting.
84. Just let the sheer gravity of that number sink in for a moment. We aren't talking about 84 boxes. We aren't talking about 84 rooms. This represents 84 kilometers. 84 kilometers of forbidden underground shelves. To put that into perspective, imagine walking down a dark, narrow corridor entirely surrounded by the crushing weight of untold history and walking for days without ever reaching the end. That is the actual, physical reality of the secrets locked away from us.
And all 84 kilometers of this, it's contained within what is known as the Iron Vault. I really want you to feel the physical weight of that title. You know, this isn't merely a library. A vault is specifically designed to keep things in, but more importantly, it's designed to keep people out. To descend into this space is literally to leave the known world behind. It is a descent into a deep, dark reality, far beneath the surface, where the atmosphere itself is just thick with the gravity of centuries of heavily guarded truths.
To truly wrap our heads around this space, we have to rely on the exact sensory details from our source material. Dusty, ancient manuscripts, rusted iron keys, and old stone walls. So, scratch any image of a modern, sterile environment from your mind. This is hyper-realistic. It is intensely dark, and it is overwhelmingly historic. Those rusted iron keys signify locks that haven't been turned in generations. And the thick, old stone walls, they were built to withstand time itself, purposely protecting these dusty ancient manuscripts from ever seeing the light of day. Okay, let's dive into this. This brings us to the absolute core of our discussion today, the massive contrast between public-facing history and the forbidden underground reality. On the surface, we have the polished stories, right? The sunny monuments, the history we're all taught in school. But beneath that, we are talking about the real hidden truths locked tightly under the stone. It's absolutely fascinating when you realize that the history we know is just the surface layer, completely detached from the intense, locked-away reality sitting right beneath it.
Let's move to and see how this builds. To grasp the sheer magnitude of the Iron Vault, we're breaking our descent down into 3 steps. Step 1, the scale. Step 2, the sealed trials. And finally, Step 3, the dark records.
Which brings us to a really crucial question. What kind of secrets actually require an Iron Vault? Think about this logically for a second. You do not build 84 kilometers of underground, stone-walled, iron-locked shelving for standard administrative paperwork. No way. You build an Iron Vault for dangerous, forbidden truths. So we are pivoting away from just the massive physical scale of the architecture, and we really must now ask ourselves about the highly restricted, specific historical contents that justify this extreme level of security.
Now, what's really interesting about this is when we talk about dangerous history, the absolute prime example is the sealed trials of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were powerful, they were legendary, and their sudden downfall is honestly one of history's great mysteries. But the vault guards the actual, highly classified historical records of those trials. We are talking about deeply hidden political maneuvering, suppressed testimonies, and sealed judgments. The Iron Vault is actively preserving the forbidden chapters of one of the most famous orders in human history, keeping the absolute truth of their trials locked in the dark.
And this brilliantly illustrates how our descent takes us through layers. We start with the environmental reality, the sheer volume of hidden history found within those dusty ancient manuscripts. Then, we push a layer deeper into the political and historical suppression with the sealed Knights Templar trials. But the final layer teases something entirely different. The records shift from the political to a much, much darker secret at the very bottom of the vault.
So the crucial point is that the deepest conceptual level of the archives houses something entirely unpolitical: the dark records of exorcisms. This is the ultimate mystery we've been tracking toward, because this isn't about politics or fallen knights anymore. These are the supernatural, terrifying accounts of spiritual battles, documented, completely sealed, and locked behind rusted iron doors. The fact that these records are kept right alongside major historical trials tells us everything we need to know about exactly how seriously they are taken and why they are kept so far away from the public eye.
If 84 kilometers of iron-locked vaults are required just to hold on to fallen knights in supernatural battles, we have to wonder about the remaining miles of shelves we haven't even touched. So I leave you with this. What else might be hiding in the dark?